So today, I'm here to tell you all about the toughest animal on Earth. This creature can survive temperatures all the way up to 151 degrees Celsius. To give you an idea of how hot that is, water boils at about 100 degrees Celsius. But not just hot, these animals can also survive extremely cold conditions, all the way down to negative 272 degrees Celsius. That's just 1 degree above absolute zero, the temperature at which all molecular motion stops. How about pressure? Well, these creatures have survived pressures up to 68 times higher than you would find at the bottom of the Marianas Trench. Why not throw radiation in there? It turns out these creatures can survive radiation about 1,000 times higher than would be lethal to humans. So you guys ready? Can I get a drum roll? You ready for the toughest animal on Earth? Well, it's this guy. I said it was the toughest. I didn't say it was the largest. But don't worry, I've blown up the image for you. I'd like to introduce all of you to the tardigrade, or the water bear, also sometimes referred to as the moss piglet. Now these are quite interesting animals. They're pretty small, as I showed you about. They get about 1 millimeter in maximum size. And tardigrades are found throughout the world. They're found everywhere, really. They're found in beneath Antarctic ice. They're found in the Himalayas. They're found at the bottom of the ocean. You can find them anywhere. They're probably most happy under a piece of moss, on a piece of bark on a tree. That's where they're most happy. But they're quite interesting and fascinating animals for some of the reasons I've described. What they can do is they can undergo this process called cryptobiosis. And in cryptobiosis, they're able to slow down their molecular mechanism and their metabolism to the point at which they can begin to survive these extreme conditions I was telling you about. Now, tardigrades are the toughest animals on Earth, but maybe they're also the toughest animals in our universe. And I say this because tardigrades indeed have gone to space before. We've taken lots of different animals up into space for experiments. Often we use maybe a unicellular or cultured cells from multicellular organisms. But something unique about the tardigrades is while they're very small, they do have things like they sort of have a brain, they have some nerves, they have a digestive tract. So there's a lot of things about tardigrades that make them a very interesting model of experiment. And in space, they've experienced things such as weightlessness, the vacuum of space, different types of radiation, extremely cold temperatures. And has that affected tardigrade survival or reproduction? In fact, it hasn't. So as we move forward in space exploration, we can think about tardigrades as a great model system for understanding both how they can protect themselves and also developing technologies that may help us as we move through our solar system and beyond. Thank you.
Cool. Very cool. I was very engaged right from the beginning. You have a marvelous style that's both at once sort of formal and yet very clever and natural, and so that's very appealing. Do me a favor and smile. See, he can do it. Okay, maybe a little bit more of that facial expression to lighten up just a little bit, and so. That would be my main thing. I love the props, the way you did that, the drum roll, the whole, here's the little guy, he's so little you can't even see him thing. Perfect. My only suggestion might be to think about using instead of tardigrade, what was the other thing, the bear?
Water bear.
The water bear. Maybe use that name for just the purpose of ease of understanding and something that people are more likely to remember. The cryptobiosis term, maybe don't need that. So the rest of it, love it.
That was great. It was a really fun presentation. Great context in the beginning when you were talking about how hot and how cold. You had me there like, what is this creature? It was really a great way of helping us understand how tough these creatures really are. I almost wanted, it almost seemed like superpowers. You could have maybe played that up a little bit more. You used humor a little bit in the middle with your water bear and moss piglet, and you could have done that more. I thought it was a really nice energy during that section of your talk. I agree, cryptobiosis, too technical, you can lose that. But overall, just a really great, comfortable presentation. You did a great job.
Yeah, I'd agree. Right after Lisa had talked about, so don't start your presentation with so, you started with so today, which is different, but again, there could have been a better way to start to, just even saying, what is the toughest animal on Earth? That's the title of your talk. Start with that. It makes us all go, yeah, what is it? Tell us, Paul. You have great presence. You have a wonderful voice, like a radio DJ voice, which is fantastic because it's very easy to listen to. You have great inflection. We're not supposed to generally talk about how you're dressed, but I think as Lisa was alluding to, wearing the suit, the Men in Black sort of thing, it gives you a formality, which is cool because you played against it with your informality, right? So that can be really fun. But what it did also is every time you used a technical term, it just came across as preachy. And it's such a subconscious thing. Even you said unicellular. I mean, of course we all know what that means. Why don't you just say, they've taken amoebas or bacteria? I mean, again, something that's very public. So every time you used even the slightest jargon term, because you have this sort of formal persona, it just came across very talky-downy. That's a technical term. Very preachy, very teacherish, teacher marmish. So, but I loved it. I loved the drum roll. I loved your presence. I thought it was great. Your props were great. So thank you.